Question 8. Let's look at the question. Question 8. Find the values of P that will make the quadratic a perfect square. So a perfect square here means when you factorize them, you get two same factors. Okay, so when you factorize them, you get two same factors, and at the end you get two same roots. Okay, so when we get two same roots, then I have to say that when they have two same roots, that means, okay, I write down first, two same roots. That means we have to use discriminant. The discriminant that I mean is b squared minus 4ac. We have to use this, and it is equal to 0. Two same roots. Okay, so I just repeat it again. Perfect square means when you factorize, you get two same factors. When you have two same factors, that means it will end up with two same roots. And two same roots will be discriminant equal to 0. So it is interrelated here and there. So this is problem solving already. Now let's see how. We have this as our A. This is the B. This is the C. Okay, let me write down. A is equal to 5p minus 1. We don't take the x square. B is minus 4. We don't take the x. C is 2p minus 1. Okay, now we do b squared minus 4ac equal to 0. And now we substitute. Minus 4 squared minus 4ac equal to 0. 16 minus 4. Okay, expand it. 5p, 2p is 10p squared. 10p squared, then minus 5p minus 2p plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, then we simplify it. 10p squared minus 7p plus 1 equal to 0. 16 minus, okay, I multiply minus 4 to each of these. Minus 40p squared plus 28p minus 4 equal to 0. And let's say I shift everything to the right. 40p squared minus 28p. 16 minus 4 is 12. 12 shift to the right minus 12. Okay, then I get this, and I divide by 4 first. Divide by 4. 10p squared 7p minus 3 equal to 0. Okay, now we need to factorize this quadratic equation. So let's say I use 5p and 2p and try it out first. 5p and 2p when I multiply is 10p squared. Now I need to think of two numbers that multiply and get negative 3. Negative 3, so it is going to be negative 3. Okay, so I can imagine I have to use 10p and p instead, so that when I use negative 3 and 1, negative 3 and 1. Okay, so negative 3 and positive 3 and negative 1. When I multiply, I get negative 3. When I cross, I have to get negative 7p. So where this is positive 3p, this is negative 10p, When I add them up, negative 7p. Okay, so I get negative 7p, which is the same with the term in the middle. So make sure this and these are the same. So if that is the case, that means our factorization is successful. So 10p plus 3 and then p minus 1. Okay, now we write them down. 10p plus 3, p minus 1 equal to 0. So 10p plus 3 equal to 0, p minus 1 equal to 0. So we get 10p equal to minus 3 over 10, p equal to 1. Okay, so these two are the values of p. Okay, so they want us to find values of p, and we have found that and settle for this question 8. So we just continue question 9 then. Okay, so let's say I do it at the side here. So again, these are about problem solving, solve inequalities, quadratic inequalities. So A, we have x squared greater than x. So let's see how we solve quadratic inequalities. So normally we use graphical methods. X squared greater than x. So in general, solving quadratic inequality is you change it to ax squared plus bx plus c. Then the other side is either more than 0, less than 0, or more than or equal to 0, or less than or equal to 0. This is the first steps. Then the second step is this is step 1. Step 2, you factorize the quadratic expressions on the left. Factorize. And find the root or the x-intercept. We have to find these two. We have to factorize, then we have to find the roots, the x-intercept. So imagine you have x equal to a, x equal to b at the end. And then you have to, step 3, we have to sketch the graph, put the two roots there, a and b. Okay, and after that, what to do is two situations. I put in two color. If they are more than 0, okay, let's say I put in 4 color. If they are more than 0, then more than 0 is here, above of the x-axis. If it's more than 0, then you write x less than a. Why less than a? Because you see the shaded region is to the left hand side of a. So less than a. To the left hand side of a, and this side to the right hand side of b. So for this one, we write more than b. So this is the first case. The second case, let's say this one, I still put it in blue color, more than or equal to 0. More than or equal to 0, basically it's same with the first case just now. We just need to put equal, less than equal to a, x more than or equal to b. So that is, okay, I call it, this is Roman 1, this is Roman 2, Roman 1, Roman 2. Okay. Now let's say I use different color for this, green color. I call this Roman 3. Okay. Less than 0. Less than 0 we take here, below of the horizontal axis. So when we take that, we write our answer in this way. X is in between a and b. Okay. in between. As you can see, the shaded region, right? The values taken are the values in between A and B. So the last case, I use Roman numeral again, Roman 4. Okay, less than or equal to 0. So when you write your answer, you write in the similar way, but this round we have equal. So as you can see, with equal.
Equal or bigger.
Yes. Okay, with equal. This one no equal. So I put it into 4 situations. These are the theory. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. Okay, then let's see how we make it in the question given. Okay, so we have 3 steps to follow. Okay, now we apply our knowledge on the first questions. So our first question here, x squared more than x, or x squared greater than x. So step 1, put them in general quadratic form, ax squared plus bx plus c. So that means what am I going to do is I have to shift the x to the left so that the other side becomes 0. Okay, so I shift and I get x squared minus x more than 0. Okay, then I'm going to factorize to find the roots or the x-intercepts if we get 2 x values at most of the time. Okay, so for this case, if I want to factorize, I can just factorize x straight away. No need to do like this, I have to multiply 2 numbers and add them up to get the middle one. So this one no need. How we know no need? If you have 3 terms, yes, you have to do like this. If you have the first term and the second term without the third term, the constant term, the c is not there. If the c is not there, then you can just factorize x straight away. So factorize x minus 1, just like this. Factorize x from the first term and the second term, and then we get the root. This one represent x equal to 0. This one represent x minus 1 equal to 0. So we have 2 roots basically, 0 and 1. 0 and 1. So these are the end of step 2. We get 2 x values. Now step 3, we draw the graph. We put the 2 x value that we found just now on the x-axis, which are 0 and 1. Okay, so we put like this. 0, 1. And now our inequality is greater than 0. It belongs to case 1. As you can see, case 1, we write our answer in this way at the end. X less than a, x greater than b. So for our case here, as you can see, we follow the blue color. That means we follow this. More than 0, right? We shade here and we shade there. Okay, let's say I shade it first. I shade here and there. So meaning that when I write my answer, I have to follow this format: x less than a, as x greater than b. So because of that, I write my answer as x less than 0, x more than 1. Okay, so that is question 9a. This is inequality. It's a little bit different. Okay, so let's see more example. Okay, let's say b. X plus 2 squared less than or equal to 34. Okay, now for this case, we just do it as usual. As you can see, the first steps. So we need to get a general quadratic form, ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so what am I going to do is I'm going to expand this. Okay, expand. So the x plus 2 squared means there are x plus 2 and x plus 2, two brackets, and then we expand it like this, multiply in that way to get x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4 less than or equal to 34. So x squared plus 4x. I shift the 34 to the left. So 34 shift to the left. I have 4 minus 34. That is going to be negative 30 less than or equal to 0. Okay, so I have this form, and now we need to try to factorize it. Okay, so factorize this. Of course, you have to think of two numbers where when you multiply them, you have to get negative 30, and when you add them up you have to get 4. So actually there is no number that can do this. For example, imagine if you have negative 10 times 3. If you add them up, you get negative 7. If you add up these two numbers. If you consider minus 6 times 5, if you add them up, you get negative 1. So there is no way to get positive 4. Okay, so that means we can't factorize. For our case here. So if you can't factorize, then we have to use different way to do it. Okay, different way. So let's say now we can't factorize, and to continue doing this, we can just make use of this inequality given at the beginning. We put our roots in third form, in square root form. So where we do like this, x plus 2 less than or equal to, okay, let's say I keep this as equal first. Okay, so I change this, make it as equal, just to make our calculation easier. Okay, so I shift the square over, it becomes plus minus square root of 34. And then I get these two. So the first roots are x equal to minus 2 plus square root of 34. The second root is minus 2 minus square root of 34. So this is the two roots. Okay, so we can't factorize it, so meaning that our roots is in third form. Okay, but it's still okay one. Now we can do step 3 already. Okay, we can do step 3. So to do step 3, we have to put the two roots in the graph. Okay, so we sketch the graph first. And you look at the two roots that we have here, so we have to know that this is the smaller one, you put on the left. This is the greater in value, you put on the right. So we have minus 2 minus square root 34, we have minus 2 plus square root 34. Okay, so these are the two roots. And after that, we look at our inequalities then. Our inequalities is basically less than or equal to 0, which belongs to case 4. Case 4, as you can see here, case 4. So case 4, we have to shape the bottom, green color. Then you have to write your answer in this way. So now we just do the same here. We shape the bottom. Then we write the answer in this form. So how we do it is we put x in the middle. Then we just follow back the symbol. And then we put the small value on the left. minus 2 minus 34, minus 2 plus 34 on the right. Okay, so like that. Okay, so we solve it in this way. And let's see question C. Two more questions, C and D. Okay, question C. Three x squared plus 5x minus 2 less than or equal to 0. Okay, so we already fulfill step 1. Step 1 is where you have to have quadratic general forms. So we already have that. Now we have to factorize. So let's try to factorize this. So I'm going to use 3x times x equal to 3x squared. Then I think of two numbers that multiply to get -2. And when I add up the products, I have to get +5. So let's say I use 2 and -1 in this way. I cross multiply, I will get -x and 6x. I add them up, I will get 5x. So I get the term in the middle. So which is this one. So I have to compare this with this. So it is the same. That means our factorization is successful. So this is the first factor, this is the second factor. So we have 3x
so
minus,
essentially it's the same as having an equal
yes, true. Same as having an equal. It will be the same in step 2. But in step 3 it looks different already. The way that we get the answers will be under 4 situations. So this step 2 is same with the equal. So only step 2. Okay. Of course step 1 will be the same also, like arrange them in general form. Step 1, step 2 will be the same with equation, and step 3 different. So that's why you feel like, oh, I feel like this one same with just now. Okay, so it's true actually. And then you see we find the roots in the same way. 3x minus 1 equal to 0, 3x equal to 1, x equal to 1 over 3. X plus 2 equal to 0, x equal to minus 2. So the way that we find roots is also same like the equal just now, the equations techniques. And then we draw the graph. Minus 2 and 1 over 3. So again, when you look at the inequalities, the inequality, this one, less than or equal to 0, it belongs to case 4. Case 4, we have to write in this way, we have to shade the bottom. So we shade the bottom, shade here, then we write in this way. And we take the two values from here and here, minus 2 and 1 over 3. So minus 2, 1 over 3. Okay, then we get the answer. Okay, then we have one more. Let's quickly finish off D also.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have minus 2x squared. Minus 2x squared plus 13x more than or equal to 15. Okay. Now I'm going to shift everything to the right so that I will have positive 2x squared. I don't want negative 2x squared because negative 2x squared, at the end I have to draw set face graph. At the end I have to draw set face graph. I don't want to draw set face graph. So let's say I prefer to be happy. I like to draw happy face graph all the time.
Okay.
So I have to shift this to the right. Okay, so I should try to imagine. When I shift minus 2x squared to the right, it becomes positive 2x squared. When I shift 13 to the right, it becomes minus 13x. And the 15 is still there as a positive value. So by doing this, I can have a positive 2x squared where I can sketch happy face graph. So now, let's say I I just write it again in the normal way. This way. You see this one, the sharp point is facing the quadratic. So now you just write in the normal way, the sharp point is still facing the quadratic. So we factorize this then. 2x x 2x squared, and then okay, let's say okay, we want to get negative 13. Seems like cannot factorize. As I try to imagine, if I use 15 and 1, seems like I can't get negative 13. Okay, let's try with negative 5 and negative 3. I get positive 15. I cross negative 3x, negative 10x. Okay, yes, I get negative 13x. Okay, so 2x minus 3, x minus 5, less than or equal to 0, x equal to 3 over 2, x equal to 5. I sketch the graph. 3 over 2, 5. Okay, this is less than or equal to 0. Again, it belongs to case number 4. End up with this, shade the bottom. Okay, so shade the bottom and end up with writing the answer in this way.